So as we start here with the jointly distributed random variables, we have to deal with two or more random variables. So there it is a possibility that with the two or more random variables, there are certain statistical dependencies between these random variables. The experimentation of flipping a pair coin we have already dealt with in the first as well as the second video from this particular chapter. Here it is the pictorial representation or flipping a pair coin here. So the outcomes were either to result with the head side or the tail side. Thereupon in those experimentations we have assigned the outcome to be head by +1 value and the outcome to be tail by -1 value. Thereupon we have also calculated the probability, as there are only two possibilities to result in this particular experimentation. The probabilities are half of the complete 100% probability. Hence we have represented them by 0.5 for heads and 0.5 for tails here. Now let us coming to the topic here, that is jointly distributed random variables. The concept we can understand if we extend this particular experiment by simultaneously having the flipping of two pair coins. So here it is the tossing of the two pair coins here. Now in this particular example, the outcomes shall be comprising of the result that we obtain for the first coin as well as the result that we obtain for second coin here. In the previous cases, for only one coin there it was, we used to assign the random variable simply by x here. Now in this particular example, as it involves the two pair coins here, the outcome of the toss of the first coin that determines the random variable that we can denote as x in bracket 1 here. Similarly, for the toss of second coin, that results with either again head or tail, that we can represent x of 2 here. So the outcome, the net outcome of this complete experiment that involves the two coins, that we can represent within the curly brackets x of 1 comma x of 2 here. Now when we have to talk about the probabilities we have earlier denoted with half, 0.5 for head and 0.5 for tails also. So the probability of simply x is equal to 1 that we used to denote for only one coin. Here we have to represent probability of x of I is equal to 1 and this is equal to 0.5. Similarly, probability of x of I is equal to -1 for tails and this is also equal to 0.5, where the variable I holds the two values 1, 2 for the first pair coin and for the second pair coin here. Now if the outcome of the first coin toss does not affect the outcome of the second coin, that is they are exclusive and they don't have any kind of dependencies on the outcomes here. So in that particular case, there are the four possible combinations we obtained and those we can represent as, here we have the representation 0, 0 as the first possible combination. So here 0 is the result for the first coin and same is the result for the second coin. Next we have 0, 1. So here we have 0 for the first coin and the result of the second coin is completely opposite to that of the first coin here. In the previous case that it was both the results were like. In the last case also 1, 1, these are the like result for the two pair coins here. And here for the third case here we have 1, 0 here. So these results are also opposite to one another for the two pair coins here. So these combinations we can go for if there is no statistical dependency of the results of the individual coins here. Now if we extend this example, in this example we have already extended from flipping a one pair coin to flipping of two pair coin, where we have obtained these results. So extending it further, we can have the use of three coins here. Now in this particular example, to introduce certain statistical dependency, we don't consider that all the coins are pair. As we talk about the three coins, we consider the first coin is a pair. The second coin that we talk about is unpair, and the result of this second coin flipping experiment will be more dependable on the results of heads here. Whereas if we take the third coin, so this third coin is also not a pair one, so here it is likely to result into the tails here. So it is very essential to understand the difference between the pair coin and the unpair coin. Pair coin is the one which equally results into the number of heads and number of tails here. Hence we assign the probability values with 0.5 for heads, 0.5 for tails. The addition of the two will result into the one. So it is to be followed by the first coin. But into the second case of the coin, second coin, there are likely results of the heads. So number of occurrences of heads are more than that of the tails. And with respect to the third coin, number of occurrences of the tails are more than that of the heads. So this is what the situation we have taken. And along with this, we shall add some more statistical dependencies. So let us assume this is the pictorial representation to see the simultaneous flipping of the three coins and collecting their results here. So let us proceed by considering x of 1 to be a random variable, and its value is to be determined by the flip of the pair coin, the first one that we have talked about, and it will be the same coin that we have discussed into the previous two videos here. Now let us come to the situation where we have the second coin. So let us denote it by x of 2, and the value of the x of 2 is to be determined by the flip of coin. But suppose that the coin is used depends upon the outcome of the first coin, that is pair into the nature here. So here we have the specificness here, where if the flip of the pair coin results into the heads, then this second coin, which is unpair, that is more likely to show the heads is flipped here. Otherwise the case, if you take, it is more likely to result into the tails is flipped here. So hereupon the observation can be made that there is a dependency. This dependency is between the two random variables that we have denoted for the pair coin by x of 1 and for the unpair coin, the second one, by x of 2 to have the same value than it is for them to have the different values here. Now with respect to this example so far, the illustration can be made that the probabilistic description is very necessary to have the completeness in the characterization of two or more variables here, and this is required for the statistical relationship between them to be specified also. So therefore we call the jointly functions here. So as in the previous videos we have been introduced to the probability distribution function, and by taking the derivation of the same we get the probability density function. Here we shall be having the definition of joint distribution function. So as it used to be the case to represent the probability distribution function by capital F suffix small x to represent the random variable, and the representation of probability density function by small f. So for probability distribution function and to be also joint here, we can have the representation as capital F in the suffix, as we have this particular function, the joint case for the two random variables that are x of 1 and x of 2. So here we write capital F suffix x of 1 comma x of 2 here. So here we have this representation, and it is the function of the variables alpha 1 comma alpha 2 here. So now it can be having calculated by the probability of, here we have x of 1 less than or equal to alpha 1 and x of 2 is less than or equal to alpha 2 here. So this is what the definition we have made for the probability distribution function for the joint case of two random variables here. So this is the more information. This defines the probability that x of 1 is less than alpha 1 and x of 2 is less than that of the alpha 2 here. Now from probability joint distribution function we shall move forward to the joint density function, and this is of course for the two variables here. So it is of course the derivation of the previous equation, and this equation can be represented as, here for the probability density function we represent small f. So small f suffix x of 1 comma x of 2 and as a function of alpha 1 comma alpha 2. So as this is the derivative of the previous one, the previous function is depending on the two parameters with respect to the random variable 1 and random variable 2. So here it will be the partial dependencies. So here the differentiation shall not be the absolute one, the partial differentiation we shall show here, and for the two random variables this differentiation shall be order of 2 here. Hence we have partial differentiation represented by del 2 by del alpha 1 del alpha 2 over the probability distribution function of the joint case capital F suffix x of 1 comma x of 2 as a function of alpha 1 comma alpha 2 here. So this way we have seen the joint distribution as well as the joint density functions to be represented, and which can be also extended to more random variables also. So these two functions are used for the statistical characterization of the complex random variables also. The complex variable in general can be represented as small m is equal to the real part plus j times the imaginary part, for example. So here with respect to xyz, if you take z will be the complex variable and it will be x plus j times y, and in general if you take alpha it is a plus j times b. So both have z, that is random variable, and alpha, the complex representation. So taking them into the complex representation, the distribution function and the density function shall have the modified formulations here. So for the joint distribution function represented by capital F always, so capital F suffix z here we represent as the random variable, a complex random variable, and f suffix z as a function of alpha will be determined by probability of x less than or equal to a comma y less than or equal to b here. So in general, instead of having only two random variables, if we go for n random variables, the situation shall be the joint distribution function for n random variables in the sequence x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, in this way up to x of n. So that time the formulation we have to make like this. So in this particular formulation, let us focus on to the left hand side here. Here capital F suffix x of 1 comma x of 2, x of 3 you can consider up to x of n, and as a function of alpha 1 comma alpha 2 comma alpha 3, this way up to alpha n we have to go for, and this can be calculated by the probability of, here we have the conditions of x of 1 less than or equal to alpha 1, similarly x of 2 less than or equal to alpha 2, x of 3 less than or equal to alpha. In this way up to x of n less than or equal to alpha suffix n here is the case here. So this was for the joint distribution function for the n random variables. Now last one will be the joint density function for again the n random variables, and the formulation can be represented like this. So the change onto the left hand side will be definitely from capital F for the joint distribution function to small f for joint density function here, and rest of the representation into the suffix for random variables x of 1 to x of n will be same. Alpha 1 to alpha n, the individual variable, will also be the same here. So here we have to carry out the partial differentiation, and this differentiation will be with respect to the n variables here. So this way we have addressed the jointly distributed random variables, the two functions we have discussed, the probability distribution function and the probability density functions here.